2012, and ask that you please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Rose, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Russell.
Here.
Councilmember Plinsky.
Here.
Councilmember Greenlee.
Here.
Councilmember Lindsay.
Here.
Councilmember McDaniel.
Here.
Councilmember Shoemaker.
Here.
Councilmember Freeman.
Here.
Thank you. Under amendments to the agenda, I have two quick items. First one would be to ask council if you have any objection, given the brevity of the agenda, if we combine public comments into one period early in the meeting.
I have no objection.
And second one, we will be adding an executive session to the end of the agenda regarding possible litigation, no action to follow, and anticipating that it should not take more than 20 minutes. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Rose, do we have any correspondence?
No.
Okay. We are at that point in the agenda for any members of the public that wish to address council this evening. Please come to the microphone, give your name and address. Good evening, Mark.
My name is Mark Rohr, 4501 Addy Street. Down there on 45th, coming off of Highway 14, turning into that 45th Street, we've had 18-wheelers parking there, and there's one right there that's been there for 4 days at the moment. I would like to petition the council to maybe put no parking signs along there, because that road's so narrow coming on 45th, and the vision is very, very tough to see. I don't know how we go about putting no parking signs and stuff, or if there's a code already that they can go ticket them individuals that do park their 18-wheelers there.
Thank you.
That's all I got. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Anyone else would like to address council? Larry?
Larry Keister, 4402 Southeast Sitzelberger Road, rural, Washougal. I'd like to bring up the discussion that we had at workshop in regards to the coal trains. I know that you have got a lot on your agenda for the next couple of weeks, but I would like to keep the coal train issue before you for your consideration. And one comment that I would like to address tonight is the comment that was made by Councilmember Shoemaker. And thinking about his comments, I think I totally agree with what he said, that we're looking at a lot of charts, a lot of correspondence, a lot of things that are written about the health issues of the coal dust. And Councilmember Shoemaker's comment about if anybody that writes a report can sway it to their to back their side or their views, and I totally agree with that. So where we have something that we really don't have a good concept of what we're talking about, we could agree that the potential for health risks from coal dust is probably there, and then let's agree with that and let's move on. The potential for coal trains, whether it be 10 trains or 40 trains moving through our city, is going to make a huge difference in the way that our citizens travel back and forth from one side of our community to the other. That I think we can agree on, and that's where I would like to keep the focus as to how is this going to impact our citizens positively or negatively. And I think the inconvenience, going back to the discussion that we've already had of 32nd Street, where we already have got a bit of a congestion, you add a number of coal trains, and I'm not saying it's going to be 10, I'm not going to say it's going to be 40. I'm going to say it's going to increase the number of trains that go through our community. So I'm taking all the specifics away, and let's look at the real issue that we've got before us, the potential for traffic delays in our community. Then you go to the other side of what have we been working on in the last year and a half, is the economic development of our community. Is this going to negatively affect the potential for economic development? And I think we can agree that it probably would. So in your deliberations in the future, and I know that you're, like I say, you're busy for the next couple of weeks, but let's keep this issue before us and look at what we know is going to affect the community. And I'm thinking more of the traffic. And let's get away from the unknowns, the health issues. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Are there any other members of the public that wish to address council? Okay. The main portion of our work this evening is contained in the consent agenda. Consent agenda consisting this evening of 5 items. Council minutes of January 17th, 2012. Workshop minutes of January 23rd, 2012. Regular accounts payable claims in the amount of $761,162.06. Agenda bill number 4-12, authorizing the mayor to sign a professional services agreement with Harper Hoff Peterson Regalis for engineering services for the 2012 water system improvements. And Agenda Bill 5-12, authorizing the mayor to sign the professional services agreement with Brown and Caldwell for dredging of the lagoon biosolids.
Mr. Mayor, I ask unanimous consent that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. We have no other new business. Public comments have been taken care of. Under the mayor's report, I have one item. We've received a letter from the Washougal School District from Superintendent Tarzian. Reading the highlights of it, the Washougal School District is in the process of developing a strategic plan that will guide the district's annual improvement goals for the next 5 years. The purpose of this letter is to invite you to a community and business leader strategic vision input event scheduled for Thursday, February 23rd, 2012, 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening at the Washougal High School Library. And I will make sure that that we have copies of this made for all the council. It looks like we've got formal invites that'll be coming as well. Are there any items from council?
I just wanted to mention a couple of things. I went to the State of the County presentation by Commissioner Bolt, and I have to admit that I was deeply envious of his ability to take public policy issues and information which are, in my mind, kind of inherently boring, and actually tell funny stories and leave us laughing about the whole thing. I had no idea that the man has such a great sense of humor. He was terrific. The Clark County Mosquito Control Board meets tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the Mosquito Control Board shop, which is at the Public Works shop for Clark County. The public is invited. I don't know of any what I would describe as pressing issues that are coming up before the board. It's mostly procedural things, minutes, and go over the basically the accounts payables and a few things like that. It'll be a pretty routine meeting. And other than that, I just let everybody know that I'll be out of town Thursday the 9th through Friday the 17th. That's it.
Thank you, Paul. Jennifer?
I also attended the State of the County address, and that was held at the Washougal High School. I was very pleased to see the awards that were given to community service members who've made a difference in many areas, such as the anti-drug enforcement officers and veteran support. I was very, very pleased to see that. I was also pleased to see so many attendees. The entire auditorium seemed to be full. It was, and I'm very, very pleased to see that, especially many of my friends and colleagues from other cities who traveled out here to Washougal to visit us. It was a beautiful day, clear, and Mayor Guard actually mentioned that we could see the hood, and it was just beautiful. And I had actually a couple of people afterwards mention to me about our traffic, and they just were really shocked that there was so much traffic out this way. And I said, yes, we've doubled our population with newcomers in the past 10 years, and we love it here, and you know, we've got to plan for that growth. So I thought that was interesting. Also, I wanted to just give my colleagues a heads up on several committees and programs I'm involved in this year. I've been asked to sit on the Clark College Business Administration Advisory Committee this year, so that'll be exciting. I've also been asked to be a mentor for the Washington State University College of Business MAP program, which I've been working on for the past 6 weeks. And I've also been asked to sit on an advisory committee for the Washougal School District for fiscal review and comparison. Basically, it's assorted folks from Washougal that would have a stake in public schools and are interested in taking a look at the financials of the district and just basically comparing them to other districts and how we can help if we can see anything that they're missing as far as cost savings or, you know, whatever we can do to help them. And we'll be working on that probably for the next 5 months or so. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any other
I-
council members? Joyce?
I attended my first Parks Board meeting, which was very interesting, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'd like to say that there is a vacancy on the board, so if you know anybody that is interested, tell them about it, because it's a fun committee, and I think it's well worthwhile for our city.
Thank you. Any other items? David?
Mr. Mayor, I noticed that the state House of Representatives in Olympia has put forward House Bill 2568, which is the anti-E-Verify bill. And since we use E-Verify here, and since that bill would preclude the use of E-Verify by the state and municipal governments within this state, I think it would be appropriate for us to send a response to Olympia. And I'd like to put that on the workshop agenda for next time if we can.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Most certainly can. Any other items? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we need to do
Oops.
the executive.
Sorry. I really am trying to get through this. At this point, we have an executive session. Given that we have no action to follow, I would ask if we could go ahead and clear chambers, and we'll keep council here as long as we can shut all of this system off. Mr. Knipe, would you join us for the executive session? And again, this session is estimated to last 20 minutes with no action to follow.
We're going to do it here?
Have a seat.
I was ready to get up and race downstairs.
Oh, you're losing something here.
Paint voucher.
Oh,
Don't want to lose that.
kind of need that.
Thank you. I love sitting up here exposing, papers and things. And the question comes up, didn't your wife look at you before you left? Are we ready
Where's
to-
your pen set? Yeah, do that again. Take two.
I've got a motion by Paul and a second by John to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.